What's going on, everyone? Hawks21 here, back with another Splinterlands video. So, on my channel, I like to keep you guys sort of abreast of the lineup changes and any big decisions that I make. And I just made a big one. I am going to be switching up my fire summoner. Before I get into the reasons why, if you enjoy my channel and like my content, it would be awesome if you could like and subscribe. I've been having a great time making videos for you since the rewards update hit, and liking and subscribing is just a quick and easy way to support my work, and as we continue to build up this community of Splinterlands lovers. All right, yeah, let's get into it. So last night I was scrolling Peak Monsters, as I frequently do, and I noticed two really cheap Qid Yuffs out there. I think it was 60 and 40 BCX a piece, and they were going for about $2.10, which was significantly below the single rate, which was $2.80 at the time. I think people have filled in the gap since then. Yeah, a little bit, a couple $2.50s. Yeah, so like last night, these ones, there weren't these two here, although I might need to pick up these two to finish leveling up Qid Yuff, but that'll be a different time. There were these 100 BCX were out there for $2.10 per BCX. And I was thinking to myself a little bit, I don't use fire. My only fire summoner is Tarsa, because, as you guys know, all of my summoners are Chaos Legion summoners, the basic ones, except for Kitty. Kitty is the only non-Chaos Legion summoner that I have. That being, I came into the game sort of near the mid to tail end of Untamed. I sort of missed the boat on buying the summoners while I was still learning the game. So Chaos Legion was my time to sort of build up my summoners. So that's what I did. But as I thought about making this purchase and looking through my fire deck, I kind of just asked myself, why don't I like playing the fire deck? Why don't I have great success with the fire deck? And I realized it was for a few reasons that I think Quid could address in sort of a one-on-one exchange with Tarsa, especially if I was talking about getting Quid at the $2.10 mark. I'll have to get the last 15 at some point, but for the most part, I would be able to make a pretty even exchange on a per BCX basis from Tarsa to Qid Yuff. I have my Tarsa up right now. I'm not going to talk too negatively about Tarsa. I'm making the change. I understand the value of Tarsa, but the way my deck is built, I think the piercing is going to be much more beneficial to me. So let's see. I have the second lowest out there right now, $2.50 for 62. Yeah, if you want to buy one of my old summoners, it is out there for the taking. But yeah, let's go back to my cards. Definitely don't have Yodin or Pyre. And once Tarsa does sell eventually, I'll finish up maxing out my Qid Yuff. But let's get into why I am doing that. Don't want the Gladius cards. So basically, oh, someone's fighting my brawl. I'll watch that later. When I looked through my fire deck, I run a lot of melee plays, but they're very specific melee plays, because you would think, oh, melee plays, Tarsa seems perfect for that. It boosts the melee. But my two tanks, and I'm basically never going to run fire, except under poison, I will sometimes play the Forgotten One, or if no magic, I'll play the Forgotten One. But when I'm playing fire, my two tanks are normally Magnor. Also use the Forgotten One, actually, as a little aside, a Sneak Protect, with all of this shield and the Retaliate with its own piercing. It's a great card to put in the back. Because, when you have these little tiny sneak monsters like Uraeus, if Uraeus hits it, he fires back with his 5 damage. It could be a one-shot KO. So I do use him as Sneak Protect. But normally I'm using Magnor or Grum Fireblade. Now, what are the benefits to both of these cards? Magnor has the Trample and the Enrage. So when I'm playing Magnor, I'm trying to do huge amounts of damage, get rid of monsters in the front, and then trample on. So in the Stampede rule set, I'll play Magnor a lot. And then just in general, when I play Magnor, I'm trying to quickly wipe out their first 2 monsters. And then Grum, I'm using Grum for the Bloodlust, right? A lot of times melee can attack from anywhere. I love using Grum and tossing him in the middle. Opportunity rule sets, I love tossing Grum somewhere in the back as well. And the idea is him to kill as many monsters as possible. Bloodlust boosts him up. All of a sudden he becomes super, super powerful. Both of these strategies are very easily ruined by shield. And what I've realized as I've moved up is it's very rare not to encounter protects of some form. Shield is super, super, super powerful. People know that. And so people bring protects or people bring repairs. And a lot of times people bring both. So I was finding that when I would set up these Magnor plays, a lot of times his 8 or 9, once he was enraged attack, would be slamming into 2 shields, right? I also play a lot of reverse rule sets with fire. That's another reason why I put Grum Flameblade in the front. We'd be doing all of this damage to the tank, and then at the end of the last round in a reverse speed, someone would hit the repair. Where is that neutral repair monster? Scavo, pretty fast. So in reverse speed, when people bring it, it goes near the end. We do all of this damage. The round flips. Grum's about to go first. Kill the monster. Hit Bloodlust. The last thing that happens is my opponent, Scavo, puts some shield back. Grum hits the shield. Doesn't get the kill. Doesn't get Bloodlust. The other thing, reverse rule set. So Sandworm, I know here gets its own piercing and becomes pretty insane monster. The 7/7 with the decent speed of 4. I was looking at this and I was like, if I could run this with my kitty, all of a sudden it's 7/6/7 before any other boosts. You know, this monster's insane. But until I have the investment to get all the way up here, I purposely stopped here to get the 6th attack, but before the speed starts to pick up a little bit. And I just use Sandworm now in reverse speed rule sets. It is a reverse speed rule set specialist for me, and he's fantastic. But if they have any shield back there, it takes multiple hits for him to, start working his way through the black line. With Quid now, he'll just power right through that shield. So basically, as I was looking through my fire lineups and what I tried to do, it's a lot of ranged, right? Like I bring the lava launcher a lot. Once I level him up, which I'm very close to doing, I'm still like in the midst of preparing my deck fully for diamond. So a lot of things are like half leveled up and stuff like that. Pretty soon I'll get that 5th attack, but it's going to be awesome if lava launcher can just power right through any shield. Who else? I bring the Flamesmith a lot with Grum, so because Grum has the void armor, so his shield is really important. So I like to repair the shield. Him having piercing helps. Radiated Brute and Phineas are my 2 reach monsters, both melee. They don't have to worry about shield. That's a big help. A lot of times in reverse speed rule sets, I'll bring the Tenyi Striker alongside Sandworm if both of them don't have to worry about any shield. Exploding Rats, an Equalizer, I'll use him as a tank sometimes. Or like obviously Opportunity or melee can attack from anywhere. It's really annoying when, specifically they bring some shield. He just smashes into the shield and they have thorns or something or retaliate and boom, 1 turn. All he did was take off some shield. So if he can cut through that. Also remember blast damage with piercing will cut through shield as well. Just a lot of the monsters I play are melee because of the Tarsa. But a lot of them are big hitters. Like when he gets enraged, you're doing a ton of damage. And I realized a lot of the time, I was just hitting little itty bits of shield. And, my plays of big fire damage weren't working. So I think this is going to be a way for me to unlock some more stuff to do with fire. Now, before I end the video, I want to quickly touch on the new reward cards as well, because that sort of played into my decision. It's going to be very quick because I'm going to have a series coming out where I go through each splinter and talk about the new reward cards and how they might fit in. But just quickly, because it's relevant here. If you look at Bloodmaker, again, not going to get fully into this card because obviously it's like a masterpiece for Jotun. But when I think about this is a card I'm going to have leveled up fully. As you know, once these get cheaper, I'm going to start buying them. When I look at playing him at the highest level, Tarsa doesn't do anything for him, but Quid certainly does. Think about how many times there's sort of like a weak monster in the back. They bring a protect. All of a sudden, instead of 2 health, it now has 2 health and 2 shield. You know, there's obviously some luck here with the scatter shot if it's going to hit it, but that's kind of the reason why you bring scatter shot. If you don't have opportunity, you can target randomly sort of some of the weaker monsters in the back. Instead of having to get lucky twice and hitting him back to back, so you hit the weak monster, knock off the 2 shield, then have to get lucky again and hit it again. If it only has the 4 health and shield total, it'll wipe him out in 1 shot, right? So when I look at these new reward cards as I like build out my deck, Quid is a much bigger synergy with the Bloodmaker than Tarsa was. And then finally, the other one, I have to go to the market because I don't have any copies of this card. They nerfed this before they released it, but it's still pretty insane. So similar type thing. Tarsa gives this card no advantages, but Quid does. It's going to be sitting there specifically with the opportunity firing at the weakest monsters. And so it's going to cut through any protect. And a lot of times you'll get that 1-shot KO. Not to mention with the 4 speed and the swiftness, it'll go pretty quickly. And then again, I mentioned this earlier, blast with piercing, also the blast pierces as well. So the blast will only be 2 on each side. So, you know, if it is a protect we're talking about, it'll just wipe out those 2 shield anyways. But if it's a monster with 1 shield that's chilling there, like, for example, I love this card because of the 1 shield. The Uraeus, the blast will cut right through that into the armor. You know, which can be super valuable because, you know, if this was in the back and then you follow it up with a Uraeus 3 attack, that'll wipe out their Uraeus in 1 turn in just back-to-back 2 attacks. So definitely some value there. Yeah, I'm going to stop it there. I just like to keep you guys sort of up to date on my deck changes. And this is one I made last night. I sort of decided that Quid would be a better fit for the fire lineups that I run. I'm going to test it out. I haven't had much success with Tarsa. I know people have, so I'm not saying that, like, you know, Tarsa's bad. I think Tarsa's actually a pretty good summoner in general. But just for my plays and, you know, able to pick up Quid pretty cheaply, you know, I just think Quid is better for my lineup. All right, I'm going to stop it there. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys around the game and talk to you soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye, guys.